Welcome to In Three Nerds We Trust podcast with Tina Jan and
Jennifer
Jennifer
Higgins.
Higgins. And today's episode is about goal setting. So, how would you like to start this goal setting podcast out on? What do you think of when we talk about goal setting?
So it's something that's always been really integral to how I live. I honestly think I remember being in like middle school and high school and setting goals and where I wanted to be and what I wanted to achieve. And eh, sometimes I wish it wasn't a part of me, but at the same point, it's so integral for me. I know that since we've worked together, we find a lot of very same in that regard, but also different. So I'm always excited to talk about that kind of stuff with you. Um, but yeah, I've been doing dream boards for a long time. Gosh, probably 2010, as I think when I started them, maybe even earlier. And I've just noticed that when I set these goals or when I make them especially very visually impactful, that they happen.
Okay.
And
Oh,
I just
sorry.
love that. No, you're good.
I was
Tell
just
tell me what
thinking
you
like
think.
I was just thinking like, okay, let's start with childhood goal setting because you're talking about how, you've always been that way and I have to tell you, I have not done vision boards uh as a child. I did them as like way adult.
Yeah, 2010 for me was way adults.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, I don't even know what this is. What is this vision board thing?" Oh my
I
God.
think I remember hearing about them and thinking they were very woo-woo, foo-foo
Uh-huh.
in the day. And then I did my first one. It was probably Christy Munoz that got me to do it, I'm sure. And then all of a sudden I even had lost one. It fell down behind my desk. And when I was moving out of that office, I was cleaning, I found it. And like there's so many things on there that I was able to check off. I was like, whoa, okay. So this does work. It put it in my brains. And it was really, truly important enough to me that it happened. Do you remember
Um
goals that you set when you were young?
I don't think I said like when I was growing up, I think it was more of like, okay, in my mind, I want to do these things. But like my mom got me journaling from a really young age.
Mm.
So anytime we'd go on a vacation, she's like, you need to journal this. And I'm like, okay. So I think through the act of journaling, I was able to write down like things that I wanted to do, changes that I wanted to happen, just as I was like putting my brain onto paper, I noticed that as early as probably maybe high school, I was able to see, hey, I wrote about these things, and the next year I got those things. Like I was able to achieve those things. So from then, I was a big proponent of writing things down to do my goal setting. I didn't get into the visual aspect until much later as an adult, but yeah, but it was always visual in my head, just head onto paper.
I like that. Yeah. You're putting it out into the ether kind of thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
taking it from like a really nebulous thought into something that's more concrete, and you can, once you make it concrete by putting it into words, then
Right.
you can make it happen, right? It's like a
Right.
real thing at that point instead of just a daydream. It's changing it from a daydream to a goal.
And I feel like ever like doing the dream boards was great, but I also feel like when I would put out a goal to like social media, that also had an impact. That basically you had people that were cheering you on, or that you had people, that would step up for different skills that you could use to get to where you want to be too. So I think that that's a if you're willing to do it, it's also a way to kind of hold yourself accountable more if you're saying to other people, because then they're gonna ask you, and you're giving them that right by putting it out there.
Yeah, I think you're really brave for putting your goals out there. I'm definitely more of like an inner goal person, but at the same time, I feel like my inner world is pretty rich and like I put myself to higher standards than maybe the rest of the people around me would. And sometimes I've noticed, and at least with my past, when I've put my goals out there for other people to like hear about, they don't cheer me on. I'm maybe
Ooh.
because I'm surrounded by maybe a different group of people.
Mm.
So I've learned, and then, maybe it's a different group of people, of course, but like I've learned that okay, if I need to do something, I'm gonna set my goals, I'm gonna finish my goals, and like the completion of the goal will be the evidence to the outside world. So I don't really like to share my goals until they're done.
I can see that. Yeah, I can
Like,
totally
well,
see
I
that.
did it. Like it's been done. No take backsies now.
So, shall we go into our research of what we found was super
Sure,
important about goals and stuff?
sure.
I know I found like the key benefits of goal setting or provides clarity and direction. The goal can actually act like a map showing you where you're going and the steps needed to get there and help prevent you from getting sidetracked. You'd boost your motivation, your focus. If you give a clear goal, and that's a big thing, we'll get into that in a little bit, but it gives you something to aspire to. It can fuel your drive and help you concentrate your energy on important tasks. It can increase productivity. And I think this is super important. If you have a big goal, right? Well, you don't just jump and then all of a sudden you're at the end. You have to break it down to steps and then make them attainable so that every single time you hit a step, you're like, oh, that's awesome. And it just helps kind of propel you forward. We also said like it builds confidence. I actually run a class where we're called goal getters, and we have a small goal each month that we meet. And then it's always something that, like, it might have been bothering you for a while and you just wanted to get it done. And so, because once you attain that small goal and you've been wanting to do it for a while and it didn't take that long, it does drive you to start finishing all the rest of them. Um, tell us some of what you had found.
I went in a slightly different direction.
Always.
I was like, what are some trends of goals? So I noticed that bingo goals was really popular this year. My secretary, Rebecca, had mentioned it during our goal setting, like vision board event this year. And she mentioned how her sister-in-law had put together a bingo board of goals. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh. And then I went online. I'm like, it's everywhere. Bingo goals. So I thought that that was a really interesting way to do it. And so it's gamifying your goal setting.
Right.
And then it kind of brought me down to how I've been using Duolingo to learn languages, and I have a 262-day streak of using
Hey, good job.
Duolingo, right? But because it's gamifying the experience.
Right.
So it like punishes you if you don't do it every day, and it rewards you if you do a little bit every day, and then it also brings your friends on there too, so you can support each other on there, and it's gamifying that whole experience. So I think that's a really cool way to do it. If you make the game yourself, like with Bingo, or you use an app that already has those features, I think that's a really fun way to do your goals.
Actually, to talk about that a little bit more, because we were talking about this recently with your Duolingo. Not
Yeah.
only does it gamify it itself, but tell our listeners, our third nerd in the room,
Uh-huh.
of how you actually go about it, how you program it into your life.
Oh, okay, okay. So that's another thing that I wanted to, a lot of the goal setting today, the stuff that I did was my personal experience. And I find that, for example, I don't set a lot of New Year's resolutions because I feel like that's a sure way to fail. Um, I start, if I think I'm going to do something for the year, I start kind of in November, October, and I start like trial and error trying to incorporate this activity or whatever into my life. And I try different times and I try different things that are more realistic to my life schedule. So if something's important to me, I know I have to carve out time in my life for it. And so I actually set up shortcuts through my shortcut app in my iPhone to automatically open, for example, the Duolingo app. It automatically opens at 1 p.m. while I'm having my lunch. And then, so I kind of am forced to be like, oh, look, this thing opened up on my phone. I might as well just do it. And I'm also having lunch. So it forces me to do both. stop and take a break because sometimes I forget to eat, and then
Uh-huh.
also Duolingo.
I think such a good way of, you have a goal and you automate it and you're so much more likely to do it. I just
Yes.
think that's so intelligent. I love
It's
that.
not the only one I do that with. So, I wanted to journal more as well, but I found that, with my life now, I can't do a lot of pen and paper journaling. It just takes up
Mm.
so much time, that I can't do. So I have it set up where, when I leave my office and when I leave my house on the commute back and forth from home to office, it automatically opens up my journaling app, and then I voice to text my either morning gratitude or my evening reflection.
Oh, I like that too.
Hmm.
That is, journaling was something my sister did a lot of. I never really adopted it. I never really got into it. I don't know. It just wasn't my shtick. Um, but I love looking back on, like, I mean, she has years and years of journals that she can go right back to and see what she was doing. And I think that that's an awesome historical narrative of a person's life.
Yeah, I think it's
And
amazing.
right.
Can you imagine sharing that later on with like your kids or your like other family members or something like that later on?
Or even for me to remember, because honestly, there's stuff that I'm like, I don't know, it was in middle school.
Yeah.
I can remember where I went to. I can remember some things, but not everything. But yeah, you would have this ability to build that mental connection, which is cool.
I know some people are really good at like photo taking as far as a memory keeping
Mm.
device. I'm not very good at that. So I feel like journaling is a really good way for me to remember those things.
I like photo taking. Actually, that does help. I do take a lot of photos. I do review them from time to time, but I don't review them enough.
Hmm.
But every once in a while, I'll scroll like way back, like a decade ago, and like, oh yeah, look, I remember that. This is when Tina and I went to Bali. That was really fun. So, what is important for a goal? If you have somebody that's listening to us right now that hasn't really started doing their process of setting goals, what works?
For me, I visualize the end goal. A lot of times I see that image first, like the lifestyle I want to have, what in there, I see it in my head. And so I need to, like I said, formulate what that goal is. And once I do that, I have to work my way backwards. Like I see the end goal first, and then I have to make little milestones and little steps so that I can jump those little baby steps to get to my goal. And when I do that, I set the time frame up. Actually, I think a lot of people, you may talk about this, SMART goals.
Yep.
I didn't know what I was doing was a SMART goal until I read about it later. But
You're just
yeah,
that smart. That's crazy.
no, I think it's, I don't know what it is. But once I start stepping backwards, I'm like, okay, well that needs to be half the time, or this needs to be the quarter of the time, and then, that helps me realize my dreams. And also it makes the goal less insurmountable.
Daunting. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, it makes it, oh, I can totally do that, you know?
Well, just like we were saying, you don't automatically jump and you're there. You have to take the steps. You have to go through the learning process in order to get to where you are. So, Tina's talking about SMART goals. So it's SMART. S is for specific. You clearly define what you want to achieve. So just like Tina visualizes it, I've never really done that. I haven't really done much in the visualization besides dream boards and stuff. But I have a goal in words for me to do. The M is for measurable because you need to have a way that you can actually track progress and see how you're doing. The A is for attainable or just realistic. So ensure that the goal is challenging but actually achievable. Like I can't put a goal that I want to be like a slalom ski champion. My knees, unless I got brand new knees, because my knees right now will not allow that. So it has to be realistic. Attainable is the A. So R is relevant. So it has to connect to a deeper value and life vision that you have. It can't, your body and your psyche pretty much rejects what you don't think that you could do. And so you want to make sure that it truly connects to something in you that you really want to do. Because otherwise, you will find every reason in the world to not achieve it.
Yeah,
And
for me, that's the why. Why are
right,
you doing this? Why is this important to you? What is the purpose behind this? If it
right,
doesn't align with your values, then, why are you doing it? So that's the
right.
relevant part.
And your psyche, it'll fight against each other because you'll be like, no, I want to do this, but your psyche's like, you don't.
Hmm.
You're just, I don't know, it's the newest thing that you heard and you're not going to do it. And then the final part of it is T. It's time bound. You have to set a deadline to create urgency and to know that, I know I work best on a timeline. Um, I'm really good about putting things off until I know that I have to do it. But it's just super important for us. So scientifically, the figures show that goal setting significantly boosts achievement. Writing your goals increases your success rate by 33 to 42%.
Wow.
Right? I was like, I'm getting into the science of this. I really want to know.
Like it's practically
Um,
done at that point.
right? Specific and challenging goals outperform vague ones. Breaking large goals into smaller steps or the sub goals builds motivation. And then you have to have the implementation intentions, the when, where, how, that will actually double or triple your follow through. So if you really truly ingrain it, um, and then basically using the SMART goal framework in order to achieve.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I mean, I I truly believe SMART goals is the way to get your goals. If you don't have a time frame, how are you going to know when you need to achieve the first step to get to the 10th step,
Right, right.
then you could put it off forever. There's no time for you to finish it.
And then they had a couple of practical applications. So, like, instead of saying get fit, you could use walk 30 minutes at the park on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. So it's really breaking it down to the stuff that you need to do in order to get to where you want to be. And
Hmm.
it's you can see if you're doing it or not. And then I like this one too. It's called habit stacking. So after I brew my coffee, I will meditate for a minute. So something that you're already going to do, and then adding on that next thing that you want to do. I like that a lot.
I do that actually. I call it a ritual. So,
Okay.
yeah, before I do like any of my deep work, like accounting or anything that requires a lot of brain activity, and there's a part of me it's like, no, I don't want to get into that. Like, it takes up so much my brain. I do a whole ritual. So I'll light a candle or put on a candle warmer, put a aromatic scent and a diffuser. I'll make my hot tea and have it ready to go. And then I'll also put on like my vibe music. And once all three of those, it's like an incantation. Once all three of those are done, then I do my deep dive and then I start
Okay.
working on the thing. And then, I'm focused and I'm in that zone. But it's like all those things are leading up to it's getting my brain ready. Okay, the candle's on,
Right.
the music's on, my hot tea is ready. Okay, it's time to go. Like
Right.
it's a ritual.
I mean, it's fantastic. It's a hack that you found that works for you, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's huge. The fact that it's going to take up a lot of your brain. You know that you have to get ready for it. And you know that you have to have probably like not that many people around, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
just get that distraction out of there so you can get it done. Yeah, that's really cool. Um, I have a couple more things.
Sure.
I wanted to see specific things for vision boards because just science and vision boards, that just makes me excited. Science. Um, So, a study by Dr. Gail Matthews found that writing down your goals or using visual reminders increases the likelihood of achieving them by 42%. A TD Bank survey reported that 82% of small business owners who use a vision board from the start accomplished over half of their goals. Pretty
Mm,
amazing.
that's really awesome.
A Harvard Business Study noted that 3% of graduates who wrote down their goals earned significantly more than others. Proofs in the pudding. 3% is kind of marginalized, but whatever. And then also it equates with your confidence for achieving your goals because you took that extra step to visualize it. That they think that part of the way that this works is, have you heard of reticular activator? I'm sure
No,
you
I
have.
haven't.
What?
No, surprisingly
Okay.
not.
The reticular activator is like, say, when you go to get a new car and you think you're the only person who has this car and you really like it, and then you see it everywhere. That's your reticular
Oh, I
activator.
see. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So once you like learn the word, this new word that you learned, and then you see it everywhere.
everywhere.
Okay, yes.
Because your brain is now primed for it and it's a reticular activating system. So you hear or you're looking for specific thing, and you're like, oh, well, they're everywhere. How did I never see them before? Well, because you just weren't looking for it. There's so much information out there for your
Mhm.
brain to process.
Oh,
And so they say vision report boards can influence your reticular activating system, training it to notice opportunities aligned with your goals. And
that's
then,
really
right?
cool.
Because your brain
Yes.
wants to help. I mean, there are other things that we've kind of talked about before about there are other uh, voices in your head that maybe are negative
Uh-huh.
and that you need to kind of be silly with them, or, just realize that that's not reality. That's just trying to hold you back.
Yeah.
But your brain, if you really truly set these smart and attainable goals and you really truly can see them, then it wants to help. So use it for good, not for evil.
Yeah.
Um, they say that because of neuroplasticity, visualizing your goal activates your neural pathways, helping to create new ones that support these goal actions, the goal oriented actions. And then they also release dopamine, which is linked to motivation, which helps in goal persistence. So it's truly like a priming stimuli, influencing the brain to focus on desired outcomes.
Yeah, I've heard like checking things off your checklist are little dopamine releases. So if you make some easier things to check off first as like the starter, then you can follow that dopamine high to bigger, harder activities as you check them off. So you start off the day with an easy win, and that gets it going, and then you feel good and you can keep going to do the rest of your tasks.
I won't lie. Sometimes I put on something that I already did. I was like, I did do that. And I am going to check off that box because I want to see that box checked.
Yeah. I will write everything down on my checklist. So, I mean, I'm all for checklists. So, what you had mentioned before about habit stacking, I mentioned the ritual, but I also I feel like that is also part of like maybe I put the words together. Maybe it sounds like habit tracking. And so I went down that path when you were saying it. So for me, I've used habit tracking in the past to motivate me to do prospecting. So,
Oh,
in real estate, we have to do a lot of prospecting. That's where our our leads come from, and a lot of our leads come from prospecting, right? So, prospecting activities, I would have like a 30-day tracker for the month. And then every day I'd have to do at least one prospecting activity. And so there's something nice and satisfying about doing that one thing, checking it off. The next day doing and then seeing your full line of check boxes, filled in.
right.
So I do a lot of like 30-day trackers. So I do 30-day trackers for so many things. You want to hear all the things I do 30-day
Yeah, no, because I
trackers
think
for?
that developing these things as a habit makes
Yeah.
it that much easier, right? Because you feel
Yes.
weird if you don't do it because it's your habit now.
Yes. Oh, actually, okay. So I
Bring
was
it.
prepping my February. So in my planner, okay, you're gonna be, do not throw up at the amount of pink on my planner, okay?
I like pink.
I don't know. Oh, can you see it?
I see the pink. I love that she really February pink. Okay, that's very traditional. Oh yeah, there's a lot of
Why is it
yeah.
so
She doesn't
blurry?
want to be.
It doesn't want to focus.
I see things and she see check
Okay,
boxes.
I'll just read it. I made it
Okay.
colorful and pink, but I want to like take my dog on daily walks, and I formulate that at I take her for walks around 4 o'clock. But like I said before, I don't like to walk in the heat, so I check the weather at 3 o'clock, make sure it's not over 85 degrees, and then I will take my dog for a walk. And of course, water trackers because I'll get that headache and I'm like, did I drink water today?
Mm.
No, I did not drink water today, so I have that headache. And like posting social media, my prospecting, improving my systems like for my different work. Like I have kind of like a just a system and then, there's always kinks in it. So I try to improve my system. And then my analog hobby, doesn't matter which one, just an analog hobby. That
Okay, so something that's non-techie.
non-digital.
Okay.
I also have digital hobby in there. But I mean, there's that. I have those trackers for that, and it's kind of satisfying to check it off every day. Yeah. So
I love that that works for you. And I love that we're so different that I don't think that would work for me.
that's
But
okay.
that's kind of why I love doing these things too, because who knows what the listener may tr keep track
Vibe
of.
with, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I went down a different rabbit hole too with resolutions.
Okay.
So, did you know how long do you think New Year's resolutions have been around?
I don't know. I would imagine forever. Since the new year started, since
Well, there's been so many different calendars, so that
yeah,
was interesting too.
right?
So, they think that the New Year's resolutions originated over 4,000 years ago with the ancient Babylonians. So they made promises to their gods during the 12-day Akitu festival for divine favor, promising to return borrowed items and to pay debts. And then the tradition was later adopted by the Romans and evolved through medieval knights and early Christians to form the secular practice of self-improvement we know today. And then with January 1st was formalized by Julius Caesar.
Hmm.
So 4,000 years ago,
So
and
people
it
have
looks
been breaking resolutions for 4,000 years.
well, it's interesting that it changed in a way, and like there's all this research too about how it in the United States it didn't used to be a big thing either. It used to be like a lot of people would go visit the president on the first just to be like, "Hey, Happy New Year," but it wasn't the big party. It wasn't the massive setting of goals and having something new. But I think there's something psychologically about a new start, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be just the new year. It could be like we talked about setting goals for a quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time that you
I
can
love the reset.
refresh, right? A reset just to be like, you know what? Yeah, I may not have done everything I thought I was going to do, but I can start again now and get to that next goal. And I just
I
love
do
that
it
psychologically,
not only for the quarter, I do it for the month, I do it for the week.
right?
Sometimes they'll even say, well, that's a tomorrow Tina problem. Like, that's not a today Tina problem. We'll deal with that tomorrow.
Right.
It's okay.
And you have to be able to compartmentalize like that too,
Yes.
because there's only so much that you can do. And you can't like I just think you got to be gracious with yourself and you
Hmm.
you got to just be able to say like, you know what? No, that didn't happen today, but tomorrow's a new day.
Right.
And just be able because otherwise you can just get so down on yourself that you just don't move at all.
I think that's a really frustrating part of like you like a running checklist, which is what I do. I have like a running checklist, and it can be like you're looking at the checklist. I'm like, this is 4 pages long. How am I supposed to finish all of this?
That's a lot.
But I think with the confidence of previous completed items, I know that I will eventually get to them. And, I'll cover the most important ones, my top three or my top five today. And the rest of it is a tomorrow Tina problem.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I can do what I do today and then I just have to rest and then come back refreshed, tackle it tomorrow.
And I find that too. So I wear a lot of different hats and I'm involved in a lot of different things. And my brain basically has to have a set, like, you're going to work on this for the next 2 hours so that I can hit everything I want. So I have to plan in my schedule, like, okay, I've done my prospecting. I've worked on the Realtors Relief Foundation. I really need to work on my environmental sustainability committee stuff. And so that I can make sure that each one is getting the time it deserves
Yeah.
and really the focus that it deserves. Because when we go about things, we make these goals. Well, our clients could call us at every time and say, like, well, we want to go see a house. And it I can't be like, no, we can only see him on Thursday at 10. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you got to be adaptable, but truly be able to get back to like a chunk of time. And I know you're fantastic about staying up late and getting stuff done.
Yeah.
I'm an early person, so I will happily get up. I get up at 6 a.m. every morning if I have something that morning. Like this morning, I had a leadership class I just started, and I had stuff I had to finish before that. So I was like, okay, well, be in my home office by 7 and finish everything I got to do. So I'm ready for the 8 o'clock leadership for everything to get rolling and get started.
Yeah, my schedule is different. Like the minute I wake up, I just start work. Like there's no lead into it. I just wake up and it just begins and I just have to go. Like I haven't eaten, I haven't drank anything. Maybe I'll have a coffee. That's like the one thing I have. And I have my coffee with like a little bit of like half a protein shake in there as creamer. And that is just like, and I just start doing things. And it isn't until later in the evening, like after 5 or after 6, that I can do my deeper things, like planning for the future, the things that I need to like get done. So you're right. My schedule for doing those things is a little bit later in the day
Right.
when I have some quiet, but your quiet is in the morning, I imagine. So,
Yeah. So it's funny what works best time, I mean, majority of my clients are not texting me at 7 a.m. Even if they are, they don't necessarily anticipate a response right away.
mhm.
So you can actually get to do the things that are important to you done. I've actually recently I used to kind of get up and get going, but in this last couple of years, I like to take like a good hour, get my coffee, I come back and sit in bed, and I play a couple games. I do my Wordle. And then when my brain's awake, then I'll come out to like the home office. So now I'm ready to work and I have everything all around me to get started.
And I'm so different. I couldn't be more different. Like I wake up and it's instantly on. My brain is instantly on and thinking about work, like things I need to get done. Like from the minute my eyes open, it's just like work starts. Like my brain is already thinking about what to do, what things next, what's that. And then at night, I need to calm myself down
And all down.
and then I play a little bit of games until I fall asleep and like feel
Okay.
like I'm calmed down. So it's like totally
I,
it's
I also play games at night. There's a lot of games being played. I need to work on that, honestly.
No, I mean, I think we also have to put in, it's not just work either. That's
Right.
something I've had to really learn over the last few years is that I really need to take time to recharge myself so that when I come back to work the next day, I'm at 100%. Because if
Right.
I don't take the time to recharge, it just depletes and depletes and depletes, and I'm just basically useless. Like I can't do anything. My brain won't work.
Right.
So, what are things that you do daily that get you towards your goals? Like what does your planner look like? How do you do those things in your daily life to make sure you're going in the right direction?
Yeah, it's my goals and my calendar. And actually you were talking about that the bingo. I do have one. So I actually have my goals for this year in my planner because this thing goes with me everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I have
Same.
my goals.
Ooh, very nice.
So they're right there. And then on the very next page, I have my 2026 bingo,
Ooh, love it.
like
There's
3 to 4
so
with Babbel, do some social media walks, pay off a credit card, try a new restaurant. So it's not all just work stuff. I enjoy new things. I like enjoy doing experiences. And
mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm truly living more if I do these things. So building that into there. But really it's my calendar. I also have some things in the back of here, like when I was saying I'm on the environmental sustainability committee, there's a section back there. So I make my notes. So when I'm doing my time focus of, a couple hours, I can go back and look at where my last ended and then write notes of where I need to do next. So it's a little bit more compartmentalized.
I have like I have something similar. I have a separate notebook. It was my main notebook, but like I have like my vision board in the back of it. I don't know if you can see, it's all blurry, but it has like the vision board that we crafted that day. I just kind of
Right.
put the images in my notebook and like I don't really have words associated with them. The images kind of like just represent a feeling for me or like
Okay.
a an idea for me. So I have those set up, and then I have for each of like pages for each of the businesses and like some goals that I want to hit for the year or hit for the quarter. So I have that. Um I have a running I used to use like these little like checklist post-it notes. This one's like a post-it note. This one's just like a checklist, no sticky on the back. But I
Right.
would have them like on the other side of my planner page so that I can kind of like, okay, these are today's tasks or whatever, and I can transfer them from page to page. So if I
Right. That
don't
makes
finish
sense.
them one
Then
day,
you,
I move
right.
it to the next one. But you know, if I check off a lot of them, I'll have to write a new one for the next day, and then it
Right.
stays in there. But those are now I find my tasks are kind of like overwhelming a little bit. They won't fit into one page. So like in my planner every day, I have my appointments in like the time schedules, things that I'm set up appointments, but at the top of it, I have my task list, things I need to complete just today. If they don't get finished, I kind of have a bullet journal method where I use notation to show
Mm.
like, oh, this is getting transferred to the next day, this was completed, or this is no longer a goal, and then I'll like transfer it the next to the next day. But now I keep like a running to-do list. I don't know if you can see this at all. It's just like yeah, like a running to-do list of things that I need to complete. Like, so I carry those two with me to just like anything that pops in my head, I kind of put it in my little task to-do list. And those ones can be like any any
Any
time
time frame.
frame. Yeah,
Yeah, that
there's
makes
no time
sense.
frame for those.
Yeah, I'm not as like I do write down with both. See, I can check check the box.
Yeah,
This is right there. Psh, psh.
nice.
And I do have like my scheduled things, and I do try to go through the week and be like, okay, by this day, I need to respond to that repair request, or I need to do this, so that I can keep that in my brain of what has to be done. But yeah, I think it's so amazing that people can do things in such different ways and it still work for them. So I think that this is an awesome little lesson thing.
I often look, so I'm on a lot of forums because I'm kind of a planner nerd.
Mhm.
I'm a
Yes.
lot of on a lot of forums on Reddit and Facebook for planner nerd stuff. And I see on there that some people really struggle with using their planner.
Mm.
And I don't I love my planner so much. So I'm always just like, oh, I wonder what they're struggling with. Like, what are they not, what are they? I would love to watch them do their planning. Like, what's going on? I want to see. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't
Everybody's
think
different.
I remember using a planner in, I don't know if I'm maybe in high school, but college, I started using planners and it's just such an easier thing for me. I've been using, this is a passion planner.
It's so pretty.
Isn't that pretty? And so you can pick whatever one you want. They have different sizes. I like the big one because I can put papers in there. So
Nice.
I use it kind of as a filing system too. But yeah, it has the month at a glance, and then it has the week, so that I put everything in the month first, and then I go, plan out my week and see what I think things will be. But I don't, I get made fun of sometimes because I have a paper planner because
No way.
well, yeah, because you can put it's all digital. Well,
No,
the
I
as
refuse.
we said, for science, like if
I
you write things
refuse.
down, it's more likely to happen. So for me, if I write it down in my planner, I can actually see that month in my head and be able to like, okay, I think I can put that on Sunday, and then I may be able to pull my planner and write it in.
So I was telling my boyfriend about this. He's like, "Why don't you take phone conversations in your car?" I'm like, "Because I can't take notes. I have to sit down when I'm talking on the phone. If it's an important call, like I need to sit down and I need to take notes about what we had the phone call about. Otherwise, I'm not going to remember it." And so like for me, I like to have the paper planner and or a notebook kind of thing so that when I'm doing those things I can write down what we had a conversation about and I can reference it later on. So every phone conversation is written down.
Look at you.
Like it is anal.
I do a lot of phone conversations as I drive. I just make notes right after I stop.
That's
Yeah,
good.
because I have to. Yeah, there's some things I'm like, wait, what do we say about that? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I
So
cannot. I would have to like, oh, can we talk? I'm like, sure, let's talk in 15 minutes. I'll get to my
right,
office and we'll talk right then. And most people are fine with it.
yeah,
They're like, okay, sure, no problem. So then when I get there, I'm like ready to go and then I'll talk to them
and
in
start
10 minutes.
writing.
Yeah.
Well, this has been really interesting. I hope that our third listener out there has learned something. Or if you want to make a comment down below about, what's worked for you or things that we should check into, we're always about that. We're always curious about the world around us.
Yes.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, or we think we're good?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
If anyone is ever interested in planner nerddom, I am here for you. I have tried like all the planners.
Tried all the planners. I've seen them. There's a lot.
I am so into them. It is like my hobby.
Yeah, but you love it. So I
I
think that's
do.
great. And it's all about you trying to find things that work best for you. So,
Yes. Ask me any planner question.
well, welcome and thank you guys for all checking in and see you on the next podcast for In Three Nerds We Trust.
Bye.
Bye.
And that brings us to the end of another exciting episode of In Three Nerds We Trust. Thank you for listening and hanging out with us today. If you have any questions or topic suggestions, reach out to us at in3nerdswetrust@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, so don't hesitate to reach out. If you found some value in today's episode and want to stay connected, here are a few ways you can do that. Subscribe to In Three Nerds We Trust on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Leave us a rating and review on any of the platforms. Your feedback helps us improve and reach a wider audience. Share this episode with friends, family, or anyone who might enjoy the thoughts and insights we shared today. We'll have a new episode every other week, so please stay tuned for more interesting topics. Thanks again for your support, and follow us on Instagram and YouTube as well. Bye!